Let's take you to the Executive Hall of the International Conference Center in Abuja, where the Center for Transparency Advocacy is holding its 2015 Service Delivery Award.
2014 in our area of service delivery. And it will be my joy to, without much ado, welcome a young man who combines social entrepreneurship, also a businessman, an activist, a very deep intellectual, the Executive Director of Independent Service Delivery Monitoring Group, Dr. Chima Amadi, to please render his welcome address.
Thank you, my brother and friend Ezenwawagu. The chairman of today's occasion, Dr. Musa Babayo, chief executives of the different MDAs here present, chairmen of different boards and parastatals here, members of the diplomatic corps, the country director of the NDI, journalists here present, my colleagues in the protest industry, civil society activists, my Lord spiritual and temporal. It is that time of the year again when the performance of public institutions come under serious scrutiny. Consistently, and in the last 5 years, the Independent Service Delivery Monitoring Group has remained in the vanguard of the advocacy for the entrenchment of a process that reviews the performance of public institutions by the primary beneficiaries of the activities of these institutions. This, in turn, helping to foreground the quest for the strengthening of institutions that deliver specific services to the people. It is our considered opinion that in strengthening the operations of institutions, the veil of poor culture of service delivery by these institutions will not only be lifted, but also the image of the public service, which the accidental public servant insists is short-term in its vision, self-centered in policy formulation, and corrupt in program implementation, will be enhanced. But why would a civil society organization be concerned with actions of public institutions? Civil society is more than just the aggregation of organizations that call themselves members of the civil society. Overall, like the state and the market, it's a specific sphere of social interaction, which has its own rationale and dynamics. Civil society evolved with the emergence of citizens' organizations that had relative autonomy from the state and that employed a different rationale than that of business establishments. Like state institutions and unlike business establishments, they are mobilized on behalf of collective values and public interests. Like business entities and unlike the state, they have a private nature. It is this specificity that confers to civil society a particular social dynamism and a specific role in model social change and reengineering. Civil society has gained considerable prominence in both mature and fledgling democracies. In the last 2 or 3 decades, it has witnessed a phenomenal rise in the number of civil society organizations, both at the international and at the national level. Still on civil society, it is now considered to be an important mechanism of public oversight and accountability of government and state institutions. Many CSOs, like human rights NGOs, think tanks, and research groups, play a key role in public oversight and accountability of government and state institutions. A vibrant civil society is therefore a positive factor in sustaining and consolidating democracy by empowering people and subjecting government action and inactions to public scrutiny. It is this historic duty that propelled the Independent Service Delivery Monitoring Group. Sorry about that. It is this historic duty that propelled the Independent Service Delivery Monitoring Group to establish a process 5 years ago that allows the public to assess, reward, and of course, reproach the actions of public institutions during specific periods. The place of a reward mechanism as a morale boost for the enhancement of effective service delivery has been adequately situated and will not be rehashed. However, its absence, especially in our climb, has been credited as one of the troubles with Nigeria by no less a personality than the late literary icon Chinua Achebe, who posited that the decline of morale and subversion of efficiency in Nigeria was caused by an erratic system of performance and reward. We have therefore gathered today to celebrate and reward public institutions that have performed exceedingly well as determined by Nigerians during the 2014-2015 fiscal year. During this period, under review, it was challenging in many respects for ministries, departments, and agencies. The politics of transition from the public service reform objectives of continuity of the erstwhile ruling party created its own problems, such as the politicization of public service, appointment and selection process, transparency, accountability, and openness within the policy agenda of transformation, and eroded some of the attributes of neutrality many attach to the public service. During the months leading to the 2015 general elections, the politicization of MDAs reached its climax, with caution thrown to the wind and neutrality heavily compromised under the heavy cloud of politics that enveloped the government environment. Public confidence in the governmental process waned. In many instances, partisan public institutions were openly challenged by partisan and non-partisan interests for not staying true to their apolitical character and statutory mandates. The stark truth is that many MDAs were caught up by the undercurrents of party political patronage and their scope of services invariably altered by politics. The outcome is a poor and ill-defined approach to delivering on statutory mandates that marked the year under review, particularly in the last quarter of 2014 and the first quarter of 2015, creating a service hiatus that has defined the outcomes during the second, third, and fourth quarter of 2015. However, many MDAs stayed true to their mandates and have today been rewarded by Nigerians. Permit me, therefore, to congratulate the following public institutions: the Bank of Industry, the Bureau of Public Procurement, the Bureau of Public Sector Reforms, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Consumer Protection Council, the Debt Management Office of Nigeria, the Federal Road Safety Corps, National Emergency Management Agency, National Open University of Nigeria, National Orientation Agency, Nigerian Communications Commission, Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. Can we please our hands together for these organizations? Thank you very much. The achievements of these organizations, their strengths and challenges and indicators against which their performance was gauged is contained in this year's service delivery report. It is therefore my singular honor to unveil the 2014-2015 service delivery report for public institutions in Nigeria. Copies will be distributed as we progress. On this note, I say welcome and thanks for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I thought he deserves a better round of applause. We're privileged this evening and honored to have in our midst the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Ado Tenebe, the very dynamic Vice Chancellor. Put your hands together for him. And we also have in our midst my good friend and brother, the Senior Country Director for National Democratic Institute for International Affairs, Mr. Jasper Vane. Please put your hands together for him. We're honored to have the Deputy Head of the Embassy of Cuba, Her Excellency Nidia Morales. Please put your hands together for her. We also have from the Jamaican High Commission, Mrs. Ann Scott.